My beloved child. Do not move away right now. Do not let this moment pass like every other ordinary moment, because what is reaching you now is not ordinary. There is a reason your eyes stopped here, a reason your heart became still for 1 second, a reason this exact message found you before the next minute began. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and if you leave too early, you may miss the very detail that explains why the pressure around your life has suddenly become heavier. For days, maybe even longer, something around you has felt unusual. Conversations changed when you entered the room. Certain faces smiled, but their eyes carried something hidden. Some words sounded normal on the surface, yet deep inside you felt that something was not fully clean. You tried to ignore it. You told yourself not everything deserves attention. You tried to stay calm, to remain kind, to continue forward without reacting. But what you sensed was not imagination. Someone has been speaking about you in places where you were not present. Not casually. Not accidentally. Your name has been carried into conversations you never heard. Your intentions have been questioned by someone who understood exactly what they were doing. A story has been shaped without your voice inside it. And the strange part is this: the person doing it knows more about your goodness than many others do. That is why their actions carry such weight, because they did not move in ignorance. They moved with awareness. Do not skip. Stay till the end, because the next truth is where many people suddenly understand why recent days felt so heavy. This did not begin today. Before words were spoken openly, there were silent observations. They watched how others trusted you. They noticed how your calm presence remained steady even when pressure increased. They noticed how certain doors still opened for you even after struggle. They noticed that despite every difficult season, something continued protecting your path. And that disturbed them. Because some people do not know how to celebrate another person's peace. They only know how to question it. They only know how to disturb what they cannot control. So they began with something small. A sentence here. A suggestion there. A carefully placed doubt. Nothing loud enough to expose itself immediately, but enough to create movement around your name. Enough to make one person pause. Enough to make another person wonder. Enough to build confusion before truth could speak. Yet listen carefully now, because this is where everything changes. What was hidden is already being shaken. The very thing they thought would remain protected has started opening from within. The details they believed no one would connect are beginning to connect. The same atmosphere they tried to influence is slowly turning in another direction. You may not see it fully yet, but movement has already begun behind what you can currently understand. That explains why lately some people became strangely quiet around you. That explains why certain messages slowed down. That explains why some who once looked confident now seem uncertain. Because when truth begins moving, false confidence weakens first. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There is another detail you must hear carefully: not everyone around you is against you. In fact, one unexpected person has already noticed enough to question what they heard. One person who was never meant to play a major role is quietly observing everything. They have seen contradictions. They have noticed timing. They have heard words that do not align. And their silence right now is not emptiness. Their silence is observation. This is why you must remain steady. Not restless. Not reactive. Not driven by fear. Because the next stage does not belong to panic. It belongs to patience. The more truth approaches, the more important your calm becomes. Do not let temporary pressure make you speak from emotion where wisdom is required. There are moments when silence protects more than explanation. There are moments when not defending yourself immediately creates room for reality to reveal itself without struggle. And this is one of those moments. The person who tried to shape this against you expected one thing: that pressure would break your peace. That your reaction would help their story. That frustration would become proof for what never existed. But something different is happening. You are still here. Still listening. Still standing. And that alone is already disturbing what they thought they controlled. Because strength is not always loud. Sometimes strength is simply remaining present when confusion surrounds you. Do not skip now, because one more truth is waiting. What looked dangerous from a distance may not remain dangerous for long. The shadow appeared larger because you were seeing only part of the picture. But hidden inside this same situation is exposure for what should never have been built against you in the first place. A name exists behind this, yes. A face exists behind this, yes. But the full revelation does not arrive through fear. It arrives through time, through unfolding moments, through details that place themselves together when least expected. That is why tonight, tomorrow, and the next conversations matter more than you realize. Watch carefully who suddenly changes tone. Watch who asks unusual questions. Watch who speaks too much when no one asked them anything. Sometimes the loudest voice becomes the first sign. And sometimes the one pretending concern is the one carrying the deepest hidden intention. Still, hear this clearly: not every closed expression means danger. Some people are simply confused because they received incomplete information. That is why wisdom matters more than suspicion. Something huge is waiting for you, but it requires clear eyes. The pressure around your name will not define your future. The hidden words will not become your final identity. The story built without truth cannot stand forever. Because what is built without truth eventually begins collapsing under its own weight. And signs of that collapse have already started. Even now, while you listen, details are shifting. A forgotten message. A remembered sentence. A contradiction. A timing mistake. A witness who noticed more than expected. Small things become powerful when truth decides to rise. So remain attentive. Remain clear. Remain unmoved by temporary fear. This moment is not the ending people imagined for you. It is the beginning of something being uncovered. And before this part ends, hear this one final line carefully. The one who tried to place you under pressure did not expect that the very path they created would eventually lead attention back toward them. Do not skip the next part, because what comes next is where hidden intentions become clearer, and where the silence surrounding one specific person begins to make sense. There is a reason the silence became louder before the truth arrived. Do not skip this moment, because what seemed hidden is now moving closer to the surface than you realize. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the next few lines may explain why certain people suddenly changed their distance, their tone, and even the way they look at you. The person behind the confusion did not begin with open actions. Everything was arranged carefully, almost invisibly, as though they believed subtle movements would never be noticed. They trusted that if enough uncertainty surrounded your name, nobody would pause long enough to ask where the story began. They counted on speed. They counted on emotion. They counted on people reacting before thinking. But one thing they failed to understand is this: when truth starts rising, even small details begin speaking louder than planned words. A sentence they spoke earlier has already returned in a different place. A version of their story no longer matches another version. A detail they thought nobody would remember has now become important. And while they still appear calm outside, inside they are beginning to feel that something is slipping beyond their control. Do not skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because there is another layer that almost nobody sees at first. The pressure around you was never only about words. It was also about timing. Have you noticed how this arrived when you were already carrying other responsibilities? When your mind was occupied, when your energy was stretched, when you least expected another weight? That was not random. Those who act with hidden intention often wait for moments when they think your focus is divided. They expected hesitation. They expected confusion. They expected you to doubt yourself. Yet even now, despite everything, something inside you remains alert. That quiet feeling telling you that all is not as it appears, that feeling was important. It kept you observant when others wanted you distracted. And now, another truth must be heard carefully. Not every person who listened believed what they heard. One person, perhaps someone you did not expect, heard enough to feel something was incomplete. They did not speak immediately. They did not confront anyone. They simply began noticing more. They compared words. They observed reactions. They watched who repeated certain phrases too confidently. And now that person is connecting things silently. That is why the atmosphere around this situation has started changing in ways you cannot yet fully see. Someone who once remained neutral is no longer fully neutral. Someone who once accepted what they heard now has questions. Someone who smiled without speaking is carrying more understanding than they reveal. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. There is also something important about the one who created this confusion. They are becoming uneasy not because they regret what they started, but because they sense that control is weakening. The confidence they had in the beginning came from believing no unexpected detail would appear. But truth often enters through what nobody planned. A forgotten conversation. A message spoken too openly. A reaction that arrived too quickly. A contradiction in timing. These things seem small, yet they open doors. That is why you must not rush your next step. Calmness now is stronger than urgency. A quiet mind notices what panic misses. If you remain steady, you will see patterns others overlook. And listen carefully to this. Sometimes the strongest protection is not proving yourself immediately. Sometimes it is allowing false certainty to continue speaking until it reveals too much on its own. Because when someone builds a story too carefully, they often add one detail too many. And that extra detail becomes the crack. Do not skip now. Something huge is waiting for you. The next days may bring a surprising moment. Someone may mention a name, a place, or a detail that instantly connects what felt disconnected before. When that happens, remember this moment. Remember that the truth often arrives quietly before it becomes obvious. You may also notice someone suddenly trying to appear helpful after staying distant. Someone may begin asking questions that sound ordinary but carry unusual curiosity. Someone may suddenly want to know what you know. Pay attention without fear. Because not every approach is innocent, and not every smile means clarity. Still, remain wise, not suspicious. Your peace matters now more than ever. Because what is unfolding is not finished yet. And the strongest part is this: what was meant to place pressure on you may become the very reason hidden motives are exposed. The same path built to surround you is slowly turning back toward its origin. That is why some people are becoming quieter. That is why some eyes avoid direct contact. That is why certain conversations stop when you arrive. Movement has already begun. And before this part closes, hear this carefully. The person you least expected to notice may soon become the reason everything starts becoming clear. Do not miss what comes next, because the next part moves closer to the moment where hidden truth begins standing where nobody expected it. What is about to unfold was already moving before you noticed it. Do not skip, because this part carries the moment where hidden pieces begin fitting together in a way that changes how everything looks. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the detail you almost ignored may soon become the reason clarity arrives. There are moments when truth does not arrive like noise. It arrives quietly, almost unnoticed, through one small shift that suddenly makes past events look different. A sentence you once dismissed begins sounding important. A memory returns with sharper meaning. A face you trusted completely now appears different because of one tiny inconsistency you had not noticed before. That is how hidden stories begin losing strength. Not with loud announcements, but with one clear realization. The person behind this expected confusion to remain scattered. They believed if enough separate thoughts surrounded your name, nobody would ever connect them. They trusted that time would cover their intention. But now time itself is doing the opposite. Time is gathering details instead of hiding them. One conversation is leading toward another. One reaction now explains an older silence. One unexpected pause reveals more than long explanations ever could. Do not skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because another truth is rising now, someone close to the situation has already noticed that the energy changed the moment your name entered certain conversations. They may not have spoken yet, but they have felt it. They have watched how one person becomes too quick to explain, too ready to defend a version nobody questioned yet. That kind of urgency reveals more than calm ever can. And now something remarkable is happening. The very person who believed they were controlling the direction is beginning to overthink every word they speak. They are replaying what they said, where they said it, and who heard it. They are wondering which detail might return unexpectedly. That inner pressure creates mistakes. And mistakes create openings. You may soon witness something unusual, a statement repeated differently than before. A detail changed slightly. A tone that no longer matches earlier confidence. These things matter because truth does not need force when false certainty begins weakening by itself. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. You must also understand this carefully. Not every delay means nothing is happening. Sometimes delay is where deeper understanding forms. While you wait, others are noticing more than they show. While you remain still, hidden thoughts are moving inside people who once accepted everything at face value. One person who stayed silent may soon ask a question nobody expected. And one simple question can open what many words tried to keep closed. This is why your calm matters now more than ever. Do not rush to explain what time is already preparing to reveal. Do not let impatience push you into unnecessary words. Because there are moments when silence becomes the strongest witness. And this is one of them. The strange feeling you had recently. That someone was watching your reactions more than listening to your words, was not empty imagination. Certain people were measuring your response. They wanted to know whether pressure would change your balance. But remaining steady has already changed more than you realize. Because when someone expects disturbance and receives calm instead, their own certainty begins shaking. Do not skip now. Something huge is waiting for you. There is also one hidden layer many miss. Sometimes the person creating confusion is not acting alone in thought, even if they appear alone in action. A careless sentence from another person, an accidental agreement, a repeated phrase, these often reveal who has heard more than they should have heard. That means attention must stay sharp. Not fearful. Sharp. Listen carefully to repeated words. Notice unusual interest. Notice who asks questions that arrive too perfectly timed. Sometimes truth approaches wearing ordinary clothes. And because it looks ordinary, many fail to recognize it until later. But you must notice now. Because the next shift may happen suddenly. A message. A mention. A forgotten name returning. A person unexpectedly changing sides. When that happens, remember, the story was never as stable as it appeared. The foundation beneath it has already begun weakening. And before this part closes, hear this clearly. The one who thought your silence meant weakness has not yet understood that your silence gave truth enough room to move without interruption. Do not miss the next part, because what comes next is where hidden intentions begin standing too close to remain hidden any longer. A hidden turn is already closer than it appears. Do not skip this moment, because what seemed delayed is actually moving with perfect timing. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the next truth may explain why certain people suddenly became careful around your presence. There comes a moment when hidden intentions can no longer remain perfectly hidden. Not because someone announces them, but because the pressure of maintaining them becomes too heavy. A person can repeat one version many times, but eventually one small detail escapes in the wrong direction, and that single detail begins opening everything. That moment is approaching. The person who thought they understood every move now feels something changing around them. They notice conversations ending too quickly. They notice eyes watching longer than before. They notice that the confidence they once carried easily no longer feels natural. Because somewhere, quietly, someone has started comparing words. And comparison always changes the atmosphere. Do not skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. One sentence spoken earlier has not been forgotten. One expression seen at the wrong moment has stayed in someone's memory. One unexpected reaction has become more important than anyone expected. This is how truth begins returning, not through noise, but through memory. And now memory is working against what was carefully arranged. You may soon notice that a person who once spoke freely now becomes selective. Their tone may soften unexpectedly. Their confidence may feel rehearsed rather than natural. Their presence may carry unusual caution. These signs matter. Because when someone fears that details are reconnecting, even ordinary behavior changes. And there is something else you must hear carefully. The very reason you felt uneasy recently was because your spirit noticed movement before your mind had evidence. That inner pause, that unexplained feeling, that sense that not everything was simple, it was important. Many ignore such moments, but those moments often arrive before visible proof. Now visible proof is slowly preparing to appear. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. One unexpected person may soon become important in this unfolding story. Not the loudest person. Not the person everyone watches first. Often it is the quiet observer, the one who says little, listens more, and remembers clearly, who becomes the turning point. That person has already seen enough to wonder. And once wonder begins, silence does not remain silence forever. A question will come. A comparison will happen. A detail will return. And suddenly what looked firm will begin to look uncertain. This is why you must remain steady now. Do not chase every explanation. Do not answer every silence. Do not react to every unusual glance. Because sometimes the strongest thing you can do is allow hidden contradictions to reveal themselves naturally. And they are already moving toward that point. Do not skip now. Something huge is waiting for you. The one who built pressure expected you to become restless. They expected visible frustration. They expected words spoken too quickly. But your calm has done something powerful. It created space where others could observe without distraction. And observation is now doing what arguments could not do. People notice more when nothing forces them. They hear more when silence remains. They remember more when pressure does not control the room. This is why the atmosphere has changed even if nobody says it openly. Someone is now thinking back to earlier moments and realizing they felt different than they first appeared. Someone is noticing that timing does not align. Someone is beginning to understand that what sounded certain may never have been certain at all. That is why patience still matters. Because the strongest shift often happens right before people expect nothing. And hear this carefully before this part ends. The name you never expected to matter may soon appear through an ordinary conversation, and when it does, many hidden pieces will suddenly make sense. Do not miss what comes next, because the next part moves even closer to the exact moment when what was concealed begins standing in full light. The moment everything begins to reveal itself is often quieter than expected. Do not skip now, because this part carries the turning point many never see until it is already happening. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the smallest detail in front of you may soon become the strongest answer you were searching for. What has been hidden for so long is no longer sitting comfortably where it began. Pressure changes people. Even when they try to appear calm, pressure leaves traces, in pauses, in changed expressions, in words spoken too carefully. And that is exactly why the atmosphere around this situation no longer feels the same. Someone has already noticed that a certain person repeats too much when nobody asked for repetition. Someone has already noticed that a certain explanation arrives before any question is fully formed. Someone has already noticed that confidence now looks practiced instead of natural. These things are not small. These are the early signs that hidden certainty is weakening. Do not skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because now another layer is opening. A person who once accepted everything without thought is beginning to revisit earlier moments. They are remembering how quickly your name entered certain conversations. They are remembering who first introduced doubt. They are remembering who seemed unusually ready with details. And once memory begins connecting moments, silence becomes powerful. You may not hear it immediately, but inside minds around you, questions are forming. Why was that said so quickly? Why did that reaction appear before anything was confirmed? Why did one person seem prepared before everyone else even understood the situation? These silent questions matter more than open discussion, because they begin changing trust quietly before words ever reveal it. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. And here is what many do not realize: truth often arrives through ordinary moments that look unimportant at first. A passing sentence. A casual mention. A forgotten detail repeated by someone who did not know it mattered. That is how strong revelations often begin. Not through drama. Through one ordinary moment carrying extraordinary weight. That moment may be very near. A conversation may happen when nobody expects it. A name may return unexpectedly. A timeline may suddenly sound wrong to someone hearing it carefully. And once one detail sounds wrong, everything around it begins shaking. That is why your calm still matters. Do not try to control what truth already knows how to reveal. Do not rush to force clarity where time is already building it. Because hidden contradictions speak loudest when nobody interrupts them. Do not skip now. Something huge is waiting for you. There is also one truth you must hold strongly: the pressure placed around your name was never equal to your actual reality. It was larger in appearance than in substance. It looked heavy because uncertainty always appears bigger before facts arrive. But facts are approaching. And facts change everything. The same people who once listened without question may soon begin listening differently. The same atmosphere that once felt uncertain may begin carrying quiet correction. The same person who felt untouchable may begin sensing distance where confidence once existed. Because truth changes tone before it changes words. You may even notice someone suddenly becoming unusually kind, unusually careful, unusually interested in how you respond. Pay attention. Sometimes sudden softness appears when hidden confidence has already cracked. And before this part closes, hear this carefully. The strongest revelation may not come from the person who spoke the most. It may come from the one who said almost nothing until the exact right moment. Do not miss what follows, because the next part moves into the moment where silence finally gives way to undeniable clarity.